Hey everyone, this is Alex, and this is episode 9 of the Ask Alex Show. Awesome, we almost had double digits here. I'm just going to put on my glasses because it's really bright out here in Vietnam. So today we've got a couple of questions. One about the EPIK program and when to apply for that for teaching jobs in South Korea. Then I've got another question about how much it costs to live in Vietnam and how much you can save in a year. And then I've got a question about where I am from. All right, so let's crack into those. Welcome. So the question comes from Oscar Rod, who asks, when should I apply for EPIK if I'm scheduled to graduate with a bachelor's during spring 2016? All right, good question. This is about the EPIK program, English program in Korea is what it stands for, and that's the big program that brings in teachers for public schools in South Korea. Now, for those of you that don't know, there's public schools and private academies, and the EPIK program's been great over the last, I don't even know how long it's been around, at least 5 years, and they've really been great at bringing in teachers, and it's a great program. I initially started teaching through them, but it has been reduced quite a lot, something I've mentioned a couple of times. So this year was the record low number of new hired teachers in the spring intake. It was only 300 instead of like 800 the year before. So it's super competitive to get into, but if you can, it's a good option. It's a great program. You get a good, stable job at a public school. So if you want to go ahead and apply for it, do so. But, it's unclear how many teachers they're going to hire next year in 2016. So you can do that, but always keep your options open. You can always apply for private academies, which are good jobs too. Don't believe all the bad stories you may or may not have heard. For the most part, Hagwon private academy jobs are pretty good. So essentially, when do you apply if you want to go ahead and give it a shot? Well, in the spring, you will be finishing your degree. So start applying then for the August intake, because EPIK typically brings in teachers in summer, in around March, spring, I think that's in North America, it's spring, and they'll bring teachers in around August. So you do need to apply a good period in advance, typically about 6 months like that. You can get in if you apply maybe 3 months before, something like that, but it's better to apply sooner rather than later and then get everything together, get all your documents together. All right, so yeah, go ahead and apply for that around then. Keep your options open though. Don't expect anything. There may not even be an August intake next year. It remains to be seen depending on what happens with next year's intake and how many teachers they decide to bring in. Jelena asks, I'm curious to know what the monthly cost of living in Vietnam is like. Can you save up some money with this job while living over there? And if so, how much could you potentially save in a year, for example? Okay, great question, and this is something I've been figuring out lately, having lived here for nearly 3 months and knowing a lot of people that lived here, and now helping other people start finding jobs here. So typically your monthly expenses are going to be anything from about $500 to $1,000 per month. So that's quite cool, because if you do want to live on the cheap side, it is very cheap to live here. You can get a room in a house for $150, maybe a single apartment for $200, $250. It's really, really cheap to live here. Meals cost maybe $1 or $2 per meal. And other than that, there's a lot of cheap things. You can just hire a motorbike for $38 per month and get around using that. Only spend about $3 on petrol per week. So very cheap. If you want to live on the cheap end, $500 a month easily. If you do want to spend more money, it will go up and up, of course, depending on how much you want to party, how much you want to buy things. All the entertainment costs of maybe going to movies or anything like that, of course it's going to go up. So it's just a matter of how much you spend. But I would say between $500 on the lower end and $1,000 max. I mean, you can live really nicely on $1,000 here, like really, really nicely. So that's your living expenses, and then how much you save depends on how much you make. And typically you're going to be getting a job for $20 an hour teaching English here. And already you can tell that that's really good salary based on $150 a month accommodation. So, do a few classes and you've already covered that. But to give you a sense, if you wanted to do a 4-hour per day working week, so Monday to Friday, 4 hours per day, that's not bad. That's very easygoing teaching. And with that, you'd make $1,600 per month. Now, with the living expenses, call it $600 per month. That's $1,000 per month you can save if you're really trying. And then, $12,000 a year. So that should give you a sense of how much you can save. Awesome ability to save here. It's really good just considering the low living costs. And if you wanted to pack up your schedule, you could be making $2,500 to $3,000 per month. If you wanted to get a more stable, long-term job, you could get a fixed salary of about $2,000 per month. So it's all pretty great in terms of saving over here. Very good, competitive compared to the other Asian countries like Korea and China. So it's a great option for sure. All right, last but not least, question 3 from Petrova is, are you German? You seem to have that German accent. No, I'm not German. I'm South African. But I do get this question all the time. It's quite funny because, I guess the South African accent isn't that common. And yes, there are native English speakers in South Africa. I am a native English speaker. Some people ask me like, oh, you're not actually a native English speaker because you're from Africa. Yes, we may have a different accent, but I grew up speaking English. My hometown is very, very English. I can't actually speak any other language except maybe a bit of Korean, a bit of isiZulu from back home in South Africa. But yeah, that's about it. And South Africa. So I'm going to refer people to this when I get like all the comments asking where you're from. So I just wanted to get that one out of the way. All right, so that's it. Episode number 9 of the Ask Alex Show. Hope that's useful to you. Stay tuned for more episodes. Let's get into the double digits next week. And hopefully I can answer some of your questions. So leave them on social media, hit me up, and stay tuned for more videos. Subscribe and like and everything like that. And I'll speak to you very soon.